Microphone check. 1 2 1 2. This is the BLAZETHELION podcast. I am your host. This feels like a game show, right? Like the Hollywood Squares. All right. This is the BLAZETHELION podcast. I am your host, Blaze the Lion. Blaze, your favorite rapper's favorite trapper. I don't know. Blaze the machine, Blaze that guy, Blaze the coach, the Blaze of all blazers, Mr. Hot Chocolate, whatever you'd like to call me. All right. Tonight is a little different. Why is it different? It's different because it's panel time. Every so often, I have a panel. All right. So for this month's theme, it's schooling and parenting. So I said, why not have other parents besides myself who know way more than I do, who can give their expertise and share their experiences to better serve you, to give you gems, to give you motivation, and most importantly, to make you laugh. All right? Because life is tough, life is challenging, but life is also what you make it. So shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We see you. Giselle, we see you. Richard, we see you. Nana, we see you. If you are watching right now, I need you to do me 2 small favors. Just 2. Maybe more as the episode goes on. But right now, just 2 favors. First favor, like. Like this video right here. All right, just click that like button. Even if you don't really like it, lie right now. I'm asking you to lie. All right, just like it. Thank you. Second favor is if you are not subscribed to the Blaze the Lion podcast, subscribe. Why not get annoying notifications from the Blaze the Lion podcast every Tuesday that we are on and that we are live? All right. I'm sure all of my guests here are subscribed. I won't put them on the spot. Of course they are. All right, good. Ooh, hairball. All right, moving on. Also, if you are loving the movement, all right, I'm not begging for money. I'm not asking for money. I'm doing both. All right, we have 3 tiers right here. All right, you can be a monthly contributor to the Blaze the Lion podcast. For as little as 99 cents per month. It's the first tier. Second tier is $5. And second tier is $10 per month. And you can be part of the community, be part of the family. All right. You get, I'm not wearing a shirt today, but you all see the logo. All right. We have Blaze the Lion podcast shirts and apparel. We got hats coming soon. We got socks coming soon, and we got gym gloves for people who work out like Mr. Cortez here. All right, I'm lying. We only have shirts. That's all we're gonna do. It's just shirts, nothing else. All right, moving on. So for those watching, you see it's a bunch of different squares here. So it's not just me tonight. I have some guests. I have some helpers who will help me along on tonight's journey, rather. So tonight is episode 41, and I will allow my guests to introduce themselves one at a time. So I will start, that side, starting with Ms. Shaw. Introduce yourself, your name, and a little bit about yourself.
Hi, everyone. So I am Ms. Shaw. I am a teacher, 5th grade math and science teacher. I've been teaching for about 15 years. And a little bit about me, background, I'm from Jamaica, was a single mom. I guess my son's an adult now, so it was. And yeah, that's it. That's about me. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being a part. Awesome. All right, let's continue this direction. This direction. All right, we'll go to Miss Bain.
Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Melanie. Thank you for tuning in. I am 30 years old. I'm a full-time mom, full-time employee, work from home full-time, and I'm with my son full-time. He's the apple of our eyes. And a little bit about me, I'm going to stick to the background thing. I like that movement. I was born in Colombia, came here when I was 6, and I'm loving it. Loving the Sunshine State. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for being a part. All right, let's go on to the bully of tonight's podcast, Mr. No Filter.
No filter from me. Hello, everybody. My name is Glenn Cortez. Single dad. Have 2 teenagers. 15-year-old Mario. He's in 10th grade at Flanagan High School, and my daughter Julia will be 13 this Thursday, and she is going to Pembroke Pines Charter in 8th grade. Very hands-on with them, especially their school. So, I hope I can contribute in any way. So, as far as a dad's perspective.
Yes. We need the dad's perspective. It couldn't be just me. So I begged Glenn. I said, come on, bro. I need backup. All right, we got all these moms.
You didn't beg, bro. I'm happy to do it, man.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. All right, let's keep this rotation going. Next up, we have the duo, mother and son.
Hello.
Who are you?
Well, I'm Vegan Evan, and this is my amazing mother.
Hi, I'm Shannon.
And today is our 6th year vegan anniversary. So we've been vegan for 6 years.
Woohoo! Yeah. And we're both certified vegan lifestyle coaches and educators. Evan's actually the youngest in the world. We went to an academy in New York City, and we're ambassadors for $1 Million Vegan. Where do you go to school?
I go to school at one of the world's only plant-based schools, Solid Rock Community School.
Yeah. We're excited to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Ooh. Thank you all for being a part. My mind just got blown already, and we just started. I got a bunch of questions. All right. I love it. Next, let's move on to the lady with the luscious, luxurious, brilliance hair. That was the best I could do.
Hi, everybody. My name is Cortez, and I work full-time for a law firm, and part-time I also do personal training and boxing. I have 4 beautiful kids. I have a 19, 18, 8-year-old, and a 16-month-year-old. So, I just decided to start all over again. So, yeah, but they're my world, and that's a little bit about me. I'm from Guam and Palau, 2 little tiny Pacific islands way in the Pacific. So, yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
I feel like my background is boring. Everybody else is dynamic. And it's just Lolo Blaze, the same face. Jeez. All right. Last and certainly not least, no stranger to the show, we have
Miss Veronica Adams. Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here. I feel like, God, I've been here since the beginning of your journey. So it's kind of a treat to be here in one of the other panels amongst some of the other amazing panels that we've been on. But again, my name is Veronica Adams. I'm actually a stay-at-home mom. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I'm a Forex trader. It's actually what I decided to do in order to stay home with my son. I have a 12-year-old son and another one on the way. So surprise. Due around my birthday. And it's going to be quite the ride for me because I wasn't expecting this, but I did want one more before I kind of cut everything off. So it was a beautiful surprise. But outside of that, I'm Puerto Rican Dominican. I'm originally from New York. If the way I speak says anything about that, very direct, very quick. And the drive never left me. And so that's kind of why, a few years ago, I made a decision to pivot from everything I was doing music wise, bartending wise, and get into the Forex trading space. And haven't turned back yet, but I will get back into the creative space here very, very soon. Now inspired by my current pregnancy. So, but I'm so happy to be here, and I'm so very proud of you, Blaze, for everything you've been doing so far.
Awesome. Look at my guests. Woo! I don't know if they're excited, but I'm excited. I have so many questions, and I know they have so much light. They have so much gems to drop on you all. So get your notepad. All my parents, or all my soon-to-be parents, or all my parents who thought you were only parents once and now you're parents again, or those who don't ever want to be parents, but they just want extra knowledge, whoever you are, right? Big, tall, slim, carnivore, vegan, it don't matter. All right, we got gems for it all. So come and get some. All right, so let us start. Again, this month's theme is schooling and parenting. And this is our final episode for this month, and also our final episode for this month's theme. All right, episode 41. So, first question is, okay, don't get nervous. All right, just be yourself. Here we go. First question is, in this current climate, all right, in this current climate of schooling, do you have any fears? And what are they? I will start with the first one, Miss Yolanda Shaw.
I guess I'm going to be first for all the questions, right? Because I'm right beside you. Interesting question, because, I'm a teacher. I'm in the war zone. And maybe my answer would have changed a few weeks ago. But initially, before school started, I think my fear would be just being the exposure, with the current situation with COVID. I chose not to get vaccinated. And, just my lifestyle, life choice, how I'm living. So that was, the perspective that I took. And so my fear was, being back in the classroom with all the students, and the reality, it's very different than what non-educators see. Unless you're in the classroom, a teacher, a principal, somebody actually in the school, it's really hard to grasp the idea. So my fear would have been to catch COVID. But I did, first day back. So that fear is gone. So that would have been my fear. It was just in not knowing how I would, react, how my body would respond to it and everything like that. But pretty much the first day, meet and greet, I had a couple parents there. I had one student with 6, I believe. You can't say specifically where. I live alone, so it was really easy to dissect the situation. And I had a student with it, so it was kind of pointing to one direction. But originally that would have been my fear. Yes.
Ooh. Okay. I want to get another perspective, Mr. Cortez. With your kids being in high school and middle school, any fears in this current climate?
Yeah, you always, if you're a parent, you fear. Obviously for your kids, especially, control freak like me, who would like to know what my kids are doing at every minute of every day. I'm really hands-on with my kids. So, yeah, obviously COVID. I am vaccinated, but, I am not having any more kids. So my reasoning for getting vaccinated is that, there's, I'm done, right? But for my kids, I've, decided with their mom not to vaccinate them because, you don't know what's going to happen in a few years. And just like Yolanda was saying, and I know Blaze, your views, and, I have those views for my kids. So obviously, I don't want them to get sick, And then the other aspect, the social aspect, bullying, and you know, they have beliefs, and they've lost friends because of their beliefs, and they're both Christians, and so all that, you know, all that you think about as a parent, and you just fear for them, and you just hope that you do a good job, as a dad or as a mom, and that you teach them well, and that they're able to take care of themselves. So
Hmm. I love it. I love it. So I want to get a third perspective regarding any fears in this current climate in school or surrounding schools. So let's go to our youngest panelist, Mr. Vegan Evan.
Hello.
How are you? How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I am spectacular. I am awesome. So, Vegan Evan, any fears right now being back in school in the midst of all this craziness?
Hmm. I don't know. I really love my school because we get to do like all sorts of cool stuff. There's a garden there, and everyone there is pretty nice, and there's not many issues there, so I don't really have any fears. But
May I say one thing?
Sure, sure, of course.
So one day a week, I work at the school. I teach. Fridays they do workshops. So Evan, this quarter, is your workshop right now? You've got two
art
kind of.
and photography.
Yeah, he's got a double day, but I have the same students all day long. I have them for 7 weeks, and then I'll go through 3 more sets of students for 7 weeks each. And right now I have 4th through 6th graders, and they're incredible, and they're so hungry for knowledge. The workshop is animal friends, and we've taken some field trips now. We went to the county's animal services 2 weeks ago, and that was really awesome. And they have learned quite a bit. My fear is that when they go home a lot of the time, so many of us have been, well, all of us have been lied to for so long about so much, that the support is not there. And it's just so scary because numbers show that we're in the 6th great mass extinction of species on Earth right now, amongst the health issues surrounding all of this. And it's just so sad to me that, but yeah, we love the school itself and we don't really have concerns there, but I'm more concerned for the kids right now. If like my parents were given the information that's available right now, and they had done nothing about it and just chose to ignore it, I don't know how. It's just so scary, but thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's it's so much going on right now, and as you see, we all have different views. We all have different perspectives. We're all in different families, man. But for us to be able to come together amidst our fears, amidst our concerns, and just voice our opinions. And I truly believe that the answer is love. And we get so caught up in what are your views? Are you right side? Are you left wing? Are you this? Are you that? And they, if you know who they are, they want division. Right? They don't want us to come together. We're stronger united and we're weaker divided. See how I rhyme right there? Bars right there. All right. So chew on that a little bit. All right. We're going into question 2. And this will be for, I have 2 panelists right here that'll be spot on with this question. So, having kids, right, that are older and then starting over, or the thoughts of starting over as a parent, joys, concerns, bliss. Talk to us. Let's start with Coach K.
Woo! Yes, indeed. The ups and downs are real. because I had two at school age, and they were, they had a few more years left to get out, and then now I started all over again twice, mind you, twice, because I have a 8-year-old and now I have a 16 months. So the great thing, one of the biggest joys and benefits of having older kids was that they could help me with the younger kids. So that was definitely a blessing, and they helped me out big time. And I was so blessed to have them because they were just at all of babies. And they were like, oh no, let's help. We'll do this, mom, we'll do this. Do you need anything? So that was one of the biggest things that I was happy about. On the other side, though, it was stressful. It was stressful, but the older kids took care of themselves pretty much. I did have to try to balance my time. I think that was the hardest part, with trying to balance my time with the younger kids. And then I was like, you know what? I have to still spend time with my older kids. I have to check on them. How are you doing? What's going on with school? And then also take care of the babies, feed them, clothe them, wake up in the middle of the night. Coffee was my friend a lot of times. So that was basically the highs and lows of going through that. But definitely a blessing. I don't regret it at all. I love my little one. It's so funny having a 19-year-old in the army, and now I have a little baby. And it's funny because my oldest is like, "Oh, let me see my baby brother in his video chat while he's off in New York," and I'm like, "Oh." But yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Coach K, please thank him for his service.
Oh, thank you. I will. I will.
Indeed, indeed. Now let's go to Veronica. How are you feeling?
If I said that I was feeling wonderful for the last, because I just ended the first trimester. If I was saying that I was feeling wonderful, I would be completely lying. I went through all emotions, by the way, because again, I have a 12-year-old. And starting over was not the ideal situation. I wanted to do it, before, but it just wasn't there for me. But what's interesting about this, and this is what I had to learn to embrace, is that I've evolved so much since becoming a parent the first time around, and then becoming the woman that I know that I could be, and still working on that, but a lot closer than I was when I first had my son. I was nowhere near that person. So I feel like I have I'm just more ready. I'm far more ready to be a parent this time than I did the first time, even though I made it work the first time. And also, to piggyback off of what Coach K said, is just having that support, because my son is wonderful with his cousins, with his baby cousins, and all these different things. And he loves children. So the way that I see it, and how loving he really is, and how strong he is, and how independent he already is, that I see like I have another parent in the house, already added to all the other people that are going to be, it does take a village. So having that support, and I'm actually now really, really excited for the opportunity to do it all over again, knowing what I learned the first time around. So yeah, that's really how I feel. But up until about a few weeks ago, I was feeling sick and depressed and everything. So it's not fun. It's not fun. It's a different experience. I did not feel this the first time around. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it, though.
Good. I'm sure. Clearly, I am not a woman, and I've never been physically pregnant, even though I did gain about 15 pounds, but during that whole process there. But clearly, like, not just in this climate, but just in general, right? I can just imagine the ups and downs, the emotions, right, of bringing another child into this. And even if it's your first child, either or, just that responsibility, that pressure, and then add on this current climate, whether you feel the world is about to end next year, whether you feel we need a revolution, whatever your views, it really hasn't been like this. I don't want to say ever, because I haven't been around for centuries, but it hasn't been like this recently. So this is really, really new for a lot of us. On that, I want to get a take from Melanie, and I want to address food, nutrition. You as a new mom, how important is nutrition, is food?
I would say probably one of the most important things, besides making sure that he's loved and safe and acknowledged. All of those things tie into nutrition. So I'm a firm believer, you are what you eat. If you eat like crap, you're going to feel like crap. And what we eat entails a lot into how we feel, our emotions, our mental clarity, our state of mind. So I like to meal prep before, when he was a baby. So up until he was 9 months, everything was already, the baby food. It was easy. I would just mash it. So now that he's older, he's going to be 2 on Monday, October 4th. I meal prep, his breakfast. I'll do protein pancakes with fruits. If I do any sugars, I do it very early in the day. The rest of the day, it's, his protein, his veggies, very minimal starch, lots and lots of water, super hot, so I make sure he's always hydrated. But it's very important, and he's my first. So I noticed that even with a little bit of sugar close to bedtime, he will be like an Energizer bunny. So never again, no fruits close to bedtime. But these are things you learn as you go, right? So I've noticed he's like us. If you'll have some pasta, even if it's veggie pasta, he'll be kind of sluggish, starts yawning, and I'm like, he has the itis. When he has his proteins and his greens and his veggies, he's very productive, just kind of watching everything we're doing, comes up to me, talks to me in his little language. And I'm like, that's great. And you definitely see the difference at such a young age. That just tells you how it affects us. But it's very important. Nutrition is a huge deal for us.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Vegan Evan and Shannon, do you guys want to chime in on nutrition? How important?
Well, nutrition is very important, and that's part of the reason we're vegan. Personally, I went vegan because I love animals, but the health aspects of it, it's just amazing because, like, even protein, all protein, it originates from plants. And plants, they synthesize the protein from amino acids and like photosynthesis from the water and from the air and from the dirt. And that's where protein comes from. It's the only reason that there's any protein in eating animals because they eat the plants. And then when you eat the animals, it comes with all the cholesterol and saturated fats and a whole bunch of other stuff that's really bad for your body. So, I mean, if you go vegan, you can cut out the middleman, the animals, and not have to kill the animals, help the planet, and help your health.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, the number one killer is heart disease. In the United States alone, 1 American every 37 seconds. That's about 2,335 Americans dying every single day from a disease that's completely preventable and reversible through a whole food plant-based diet, which, by the way, is not what we follow. We do love our whole food plant-based foods. Those are the best, and we know that, but we're vegan for the animals. So we eat, some comfort food too here and there. Tonight we had some pasta and meatballs because we were being quick, and we had the Aldi ones, and they were delicious. And even though they might not be like considered a health food, they're definitely much better for you than the animal body part counterparts.
Boom. I can't even say anything else after that. Vegan Evan drops the mic. Boom. I love that. Let's continue on this because I feel that more of you want to chime in a bit on nutrition. So, Yolanda, how important is this nutrition?
Well, speaking from a teacher's perspective, I definitely see the difference with behavior, attention with the students, and even just overall self-esteem. The healthier they're going to eat, the healthier internal and also external as well. And that overall just is just a better whole situation for the student. But the food coloring, the additives, those things, they're linking that to being hyperactive, all kinds of different health issues that I definitely see the difference, with a student who's bringing in, packed lunch from home that's on the healthy end versus having a bag of food colored, I don't even know the names, those hot fried stuff. Yeah, it's definitely a difference with just the overall health for the child and the academic structure. And even for myself, so I'm vegan. I'm not the healthiest vegan. I do it for the animals myself. So there's moments I have my vegan ice cream for dinner. I know it's not good, but I do it
No
as
judgment.
obviously. What was that? No judgment?
No judgment.
Yeah, so for me, it's the animals, and I'm not missing anything. I was always a sweet tooth person, so I still have that, and I just do it without harming any animals or having to have that guilt and feeling, when I do indulge in something that I enjoy. And that's
Indeed.
it. Thanks.
I don't know how you all were raised, those on the panel, as well as those listening in the chat. But I know I'm Jamaican, so things that I was told were healthy back in, so I'm going to say my age, back in the 80s and the early 90s. As you grow up, you realize that wasn't healthy at all. It was part of a balanced diet, but really, was it? Food coloring and artificial sugars and sweeteners and, man, sugar, right? Like, I grew up many times, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Lucky Charms, like all the sugary cereal, right? All the Pop-Tarts, all the juices. And it wasn't until I was an adult, I was like, wait a minute. Half of these ingredients, one, I can't pronounce. Vegan Evan can, but I can't pronounce some of these names. What are these things? What do they even mean? And then you go back to your family, and I don't know if you guys have had this, where you go back to your family and you say, we can't eat this, or we shouldn't be eating this. Like, do you know what this causes? And they look at you like you're stupid. Like, but that's our culture. What do you mean they're going to stop eating blah, blah, blah? We're Jamaican or we're Caribbean. This is how we eat. And it's like breaking the cycle, right? Veronica, how do we break the cycle?
You start with yourself. Start with yourself, because you can't change somebody else if you're not changing, and you can't lead the example. You can't be the example if you yourself don't embody that. I also grew up in that environment, Puerto Rican, Dominican, everything's fried and everything. But the beautiful part about our food, and I'm sure you've noticed this, Blaze, at least for me, you can veganize anything. You can veganize anything. You can make it fun. You can make it as whole and plant-based. You can have fun with some of the substitutes, which is fine. Just make sure it is balanced in general and ensure that you're getting the proper nutrients. I do, add vitamins and things. I haven't done my sea moss in a while, so I'm kind of missing that. But I have, certain greens that I take, chlorella and things like that. We've been talking about that in the group. But what I do, and they just don't notice, I'm so good with it, is that I will, like, let's say, for example, my dad is obsessed with rice and beans. I'm like, okay, that's perfect, because that's vegan for me, right? And so I will actually just substitute something else, or I'll just have the rice and beans, and I'll have like a very hearty salad along the side, and I'll give them that, and I'll make them their meat. They want that's fine. Eventually they'll start to shift over. As a matter of fact, at least once a week, now that my dad lives here, he'll have like a fully vegan day. He won't even notice because I'm the one making all the meals. And it's interesting because there's been times that I have given them food, and I talk about this all the time, and they have no clue that it's vegan. Not at all. I'll give them vegan chili. I'll give them a burrito or a taco, and they have no idea that everything in there is completely vegan. So I actually have a lot of fun with it. And then I'll tell them later on, I'm like, so what did you actually prefer? The one from last week or the one from this week? And, and they'll tell me, and I'm like, well, that was vegan. So my son is always completely open to it. Here and there, he'll eat meat because it's his father does. And, there's people haven't converted. So I'm not really heavy on pushing anything, but it's a slowly but surely kind of thing because it took me some time to get to that point as well. So, and I love it. Gosh, I feel so much better. And I notice the absolute difference when I take care of myself and take care of my family versus when, it wasn't that case.
Definitely. I promise you all, this panel wasn't put together because they're vegan. It just I didn't even realize that most of you all are vegan on this panel until you all started speaking. I said, wait a minute. This is all by chance. This month's theme is not even food or nutrition. It just kind of happened that way. But look at that. All right. So now with this panel, prior to this show, today I was getting questions from people who may not have been able to catch the live show, but they sent me questions to ask some of you panelists, right? So one of the questions was, well, before I say that, on this panel, how many of you meditate? All right, so we got 3, and then we got 2 that do a little bob and weave in the meditation. All right. So the question that I received was, how important is meditation? And is meditation offered in your school? And why or why not? So I want to start with those who meditate. So let's start with Mr. Cortez. What are your views on meditation, and should it be included in the schools?
Well, obviously, my thoughts on I started meditating when my kids were babies. Believe it or not, I would have to sit there while, you know, put together a rocking chair for their mom, but I was the one that would always rock them to sleep, and I would, put them in their crib, and I would stay there, and that's when I started to learn about meditation and its health benefits. And um, your kids feel everything you feel, right? So if your baby is close to you and you're anxious, they're going to be anxious. So meditation kind of like leveled me out before I dealt with my kids. So um, I learned how to meditate from a coworker, um, someone who um, he was Hindu. So he taught me the basics on closing your eyes, breathing, counting from 100 to 1 slowly, and then just right, leveling out, right. um Now, as far as introducing that into schools, there are some schools that can benefit from meditation, believe me. My kids are pretty even keel. Their form of meditation is praying. So we're quiet room, praying. So I think it's a huge health benefit. So it's helped me because, as Blaze knows, I'm like he calls me a bully. So Vero, I'm like you, Puerto Rican background, so how we do. So I'm a product of you know of quick tempered, and meditation actually helps. So
Yeah. Veronica, meditation, your views, should it be included in the schools?
I think it's like not even supposed to be or should be an elective. I really think that's something that everybody can start and benefit. And if you teach it young, we have a better world around here. We have more compassion, more kindness, more centeredness, more love. Like it's all around a really beneficial thing. And I notice when I am not consistent, I notice it absolutely. In the beginning of my pregnancy, I was not. and I know because I was just not feeling good and I couldn't sit for long. And so I changed it. I adjusted and I laid down and it worked. And now that's kind of how I'm doing it. It helps a lot. Sometimes I fall asleep, sometimes I don't. But either way, I'm not holding any judgment towards it. I just allow it to do its work. And I had a really powerful meditation a few weeks back. I did something, Joe Dispenza, if anybody knows Dr. Joe Dispenza, he is remarkable. The things that I've learned about the brain and body function through his works and his books have just changed everything for me. And it's actually what got me right back into meditation in a way that was far more intentional and far more connected. And not because I was never connected. It was more because I knew now, like I actually had the information that was required for me to understand. I'm a big science freak. I'm such a nerd with that. So when I know the functions of things, it's like I can connect better with pineal gland and like the body and everything. And I'm like, whoa, this is so cool. And I felt like this surge of energy, and it shifted the way that I thought about this entire, journey for myself. Because before I was very anxious and like, what am I going to do? I got to move. I got, all these different things. And then when I shifted it, it was like I surrendered. And guys, for anybody that's not meditating, when you get to the point where even if you could just sit still for 10, 20 minutes a day consistently, you'll notice a difference in your life all the way through. You'll notice more flow. You'll be more intentional. You'll be more patient with people. And even with yourself. And as a parent, Glenn, it's spot on. Yeah. Super spot on. How you feel is how they feel all the way through and through from the womb. And I learned that recently too.
Yes, it all relates. Anybody else want to chime in on meditation?
I will. Well, in the school system, let me just backtrack with myself. So I guess it would be across with prayers. I have my quiet time or I go to that space. For me, it's the beach. I love going to the beach and just being in the water, and I'll talk to God. So I think maybe it's a cross terminology with praying and meditation. So I do that for myself, but I'll be talking to God and having my discussions and debating with him or, whatever it is. For schools, though, it could get sticky because it comes into meditation and what really we're meditating to. It could be, religious or conflict. So we stem away from that. What we do have is a SEL segment now, especially after the whole COVID, which stands for social emotional learning. And we focus on mindfulness, positive attributes. Maybe this week would be, or this month, it depends on the school. Maybe it's kindness, and they'll do a whole lesson plan on kindness, or it could be empathy, whatever it is, just to focus on these skills and traits that, it's good and healthy for students to have and to also, expect from others in their lives. So they do focus on that. But I think the meditation may be a little sticky with, it's so many gray areas that it could cross lines there. So I think that might be difficult, like full blown out meditation. But I do know mindfulness is something that we do focus on.
Okay.
Blaze, back. I may be dating myself, but back when I was growing up, they used to call it quiet time, where I don't know if I see Vero shaking her head. Where the teachers would actually turn off the lights and, quiet time. I know they don't do it anymore, but I'm just saying there was a form of it, when I was a little kid. And again, I'm dating myself. So.
And to add to that, because a lot of people think meditation in some way is a religion. It's absolutely not. It's literally just a moment to be with you and be with whatever else you want to talk to. That's fine. But to really get back to the center, because nothing comes from outward in. it's inward. It all begins from here. It stems from here into the world. It's not the other way around. And that's where people get a little confused. For me, it's meditation is just being. That's all. There's nothing to it. There's no. I like to add the science to it, but I have fun with it, and you can do whatever you want with it. But exactly what Glenn said, having a child just sit without games, without distractions, without anything for 10 minutes a day and just breathe into it and just settle is life-changing. It doesn't even have to be so, connected to anything else. No stories, just being.
Yeah, definitely. I've done with my son where we sat outside in a circle and we just shared. We just shared what was on our hearts. And it could be, what are you grateful for? It could be, if you were any superhero, what power would you use? Whatever it is, but just sitting there outside, enjoying the outdoors. Again, no video games, no TV, just you and your kids, or just you and your family. And if you haven't done that, maybe you try it. Maybe you are having your wife or your husband watch this podcast right now, and maybe this might give them that little nudge. Maybe you try it together as a family. And if that's too weird for your spouse, then maybe you and your kids try it. And just sit. And you don't have to be all weird. You don't have to have a Buddha in your house. You don't have to have a cross in your house, or light a candle, or light a certain fragrance of an incense. You do it however you see fit, because it's not about me or how I do it. This is not Blaze's meditation. That does have a ring to it, though. Coming soon. But it's your meditation. It's your practice, right? Same way in yoga. What I love about yoga, and I'm not great at yoga, right? I'm strong in the gym, but when it comes to yoga, it shows my age and all my muscle issues and stuff. But in yoga, what I like is that they emphasize this is your practice. So don't worry about your neighbor. Don't worry that your neighbor can hold the warrior one, so perfectly and so precise. And you're over here shaking, and you do whatever level you're on to the best of your ability. So, we like to go on social media and we compare her life with mine. How come she's getting all that? How come he's? And it's like, don't worry about all that. You focus on you. You focus on building and on growing you. So we'd just like to share that really quick. All right. So I want to speak about, or I want to highlight activities. What are our kids doing? Whether it be sports, whether it be speaking, whether it be starting movements. What are our kids doing? So who would like to be first to chime in? Kids or students? What are they doing? Mr. Cortez.
I can chime in. Like I mentioned before, my kids are, I'm very involved in church. So my kids are also volunteers at the church. I'm the director of ushers at Potential, and my daughter is she's not even 13 yet, and she actually leads a service. My son works with environments. I told them, you're waking up, you're going to volunteer, so pick what you want to do. And I pretty much know everyone at the church, so any ministry that he wanted to join, he can join. So he picked environments. That's what he wanted to do. He's doing something productive. He's helping, clean the church, and they like it. They ask me to wake them up in the morning. We get there pretty early, and they're very involved. As far as I'm trying to get them back into martial arts. That's my kids were both in Taekwondo when they were younger. Now
They're black belts, right?
Excuse me. I'm sorry.
Your kids were the black belts, right? Or one of them?
My son was one stripe away from being black, and he didn't want to do it anymore. So, I'm not someone that pushes, anything on my kids. but we've been having the conversations on going back, and they both do want to go back. We ride bikes, we walk. Sometimes I'll have them doing blaze abor, routines. So we try to stay active. I work out every day. And going back just a little, just to say something about nutrition. I just like Vero, I kind of sneak in, some meals, and sometimes they'll look at me like, "Dad, is this real meat?" And and I'm like, "Could you tell?" Kind of, but it's good. So I don't push. I'm a new vegan, so Blaze kind of guided me into this. One day I was like, okay, I'm getting too sick all the time. So he kind of guided me in this. Whenever I have any questions, I ask him. And slowly, I'm trying to get my kids to to get into it too. So
I love that. Anybody else? What are our kids doing? Yes, Vegan Evan.
Well, we do a lot of traveling, and we've been going all around the country and even out of the country once. We do speeches, and we go and we do lots of activism, and we've actually been to lots of slaughterhouses. We've been to the world's largest pig slaughterhouse and the world's largest slaughterhouse all around in North Carolina, and you can hear the pigs inside. It's sad, but what we like to document so other people get to know. And sometimes when the animals come by on the trucks, we give them water and tell them that we love them before they're killed. But we do a lot going around.
Yeah, we go to a lot of sanctuaries too.
Yeah, usually when we go to a bad place, we try to balance it out with a sanctuary afterwards, and we get to see all the animals that have been saved from horrendous situations.
And we've gotten to save some animals too.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. And sometimes we get to go back and visit some of the ones that we saved, which is really awesome. And yeah, we have been most recently we did a day, and before that an 8-day tour in Florida with animal activism mentorship, and we really went hard on YSL Saint Laurent, who just ended up dropping fur the other day, and the Coalition to Abolish the Fur Trade, CAFT, and AAM, and lots of other people and organizations worked really hard on that. But that was exciting, and yeah, we did a lot of great stuff that trip. But yeah.
See, I love that. Getting involved, man, making a difference, and from so young. I think my son and Vegan Evan need to combine forces, because this is a inspiration right here. So Hendrix, if you're listening, you're probably not listening. Hopefully you're sleeping. But I might make you watch this little segment here tomorrow. Just saying. But man, that's amazing. Melanie, so I know your child isn't right now on the field in the streets making a difference, but what are your goals? What are your aspirations?
So he is actually going to be starting daycare November 1st. Never had him in school, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm very excited for him. It's bittersweet. I think it might hurt me more than him. I think I'll be sadder. But he has his own little language, he says a good amount of words already. Sometimes he just come up to me speaking gibberish. I'm like, man, you need a sibling. Kind of look at my husband, and he's like, no, he needs friends. Let's chill. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna relax and just do my thing. But he loves socializing. We are Christian as well, so we go to church every Saturday. When I leave him in the kids' care, he loves it. I'm like, bye. He's like, bye. I'm like, okay. And he loves it. It's like he forgets about us for that whole hour. So I'm very eager to have him just express himself and be really big on socializing. I'm really happy for him to make friends. And I know he's going to do so well. So we're doing swimming with him now. So the goal is when he's a little older, my husband and I are into technical training. I used to do MMA for a little bit. I had a sciatic injury last year, kind of still recovering from that. So I've had to take it a little easy on the kickboxing. I used to be a avid kickboxer. So the goal is for Matthew to learn self-defense when he's a little older. Once he's a bit older, my husband's going to teach him how to shoot, teach him self-defense, do tactical classes together. We live in a very chaotic world, and this is the world that our children are growing up into. I have to prepare him the best way that we can. And I'm not going to be able to protect him every minute of the day once he's in elementary and then middle school and high school. But I don't want to think about that right now. I got a long time to go. But we want him to start from young, and we want to be the example. We're very into working out and just knowing that our health is so important. It's not something that is trivial. It's something that is immense. So having him self-defense, doing MMA, that contributes to his health. We want to implement a healthy lifestyle from now. And he's seen us do like little workouts at the house, and he'll kind of just, and we're like, yeah, go Matthew, and then he starts clapping. So we want to start implementing that. So that's my goal, to get him to socialize, to get him to grow, and to do his self-defense, do his little classes. I'm excited for that.
Yes, yes, they see it. Our kids, they see it all. So if they see mommy and daddy exercising, working out or just eating right, that stuff makes a difference. That stuff makes a difference. In the same way, if they live in a home where they see parents arguing and they see violence and they see, or just parents that barely speak, you know what I mean? Like they feel it. So please believe. Coach K, what are your kids doing? I know they're active. I already know. Drop some bombs on us.
Oh yeah, it's crazy. It's funny that since I have four, there's, I have levels to it. So it's interesting to see. I've always pushed activities on my kids, like either to do arts, music, sports, whatever that they can get, whatever they're passionate for. And so my oldest was into football. He tried wrestling. I was like, I could try something else. And he did ROTC. My daughter, she tried soccer, and then she did drama, so she had her things. And then now my 8-year-old, he did soccer too. And then now he wants to work out. He wants to run. He's like, mommy, tell me what should I do? He wanted me to buy this exercise ball for him. So just a veggie back, because we don't say piggyback, we say veggie back off of Veronica and Melanie. It does start with the parent. So he sees me working out, he sees me training people, he sees me boxing. And so the kids basically took off of me, and my daughter, she runs, she walks with her dog every day, and she works out. She's like, Mom, I did 50 push-ups. And I was like, what? That's more than I can do. And so my kids are super active. And so yeah, basically it comes down to the parent, and we are their number one influencers and their number one heroes. So they definitely look up to us. My 16-month-old, he saw his daddy doing squats, so he started doing full squats at 10 months. I'm like, no, this is impossible. We recorded it and everything. He's doing full squats, and I'm like, this is a 10-month-old doing squats, because he watched his dad do it and then he copied him. So it's amazing. So yeah, my kids are into all kinds of things. And that's because I've always been open-minded and I've always told them to pursue things that they're ever interested in so that they can widen their horizon. So, yep.
Absolutely. Your kid gonna have abs by like age 2.
I know. He's gonna have abs before I have abs.
Oh man. All right. So for those who know how the show goes, we have a special segment we do every single episode. That segment is called wait for it. Awkward silence. Color time. Color time. All right, it's called Color Time. Thank you, Melanie and Coach K, for dancing with me. Everybody else giving me awkward looks like, what is this guy doing? But it's okay. I don't mind being weird. Weird is the new healthy. Okay, so in Color Time, I, your host, will yell out random colors. And you, my featured guest, will just say what comes to mind with that said color. Again, there is no right or wrong answer, for it's what you see. So it can be something spiritual, it can be logical, it can be vague, it can be lengthy. I mean, not too lengthy, but whatever comes to mind. So I know Glenn's done this, Veronica's done this. Maybe that's it. So I'll start with one of you just to give them an example, and then we'll proceed with the rest. All right. We won't spend a whole lot of time on this because we're already an hour in. Look at that. So we'll be closing out soon. I know Vegan Evan got things to do, so I don't want to have everybody up too late. So here we go. First color. Glenn, pink.
Pink. Pink Wednesdays. So my team and I wear pink every Wednesday. It first started just for breast cancer awareness. And then it just caught fire at work, and now a lot of people wear pink on Wednesdays. So every Wednesdays we wear pink, just like Mean Girls. So on Wednesday we wear pink. So like I said, breast cancer awareness. So.
Yeah, and that is in October. That's in a couple of days, right? Breast cancer awareness. So, all right. I thought I was going to catch you with the color pink, but obviously you were ready. So, good. All right. Let's get some of the newbies. Let's go with green. Vegan Evan.
Well, green means a lot to me. As you can see, my shirt and her hat are both green, and we kind of think like the vegan color is green, but we love green stuff. A lot of our clothes are green, and we eat a lot of green food, and sometimes make vegan green eggs and vegan green ham. So it's pretty good.
Oh. We may need the recipe for the green eggs and green ham. Definitely. I want to ask everybody to drop their social media shortly after this. So I like that. All right. Let us continue. Let's do. I think Melanie is the best one for this. Let's go with Doodoo Brown.
Brown bear. And that reminded me of The Office. Bears beats Battlestar Galactica. So, Bears, The Office. Yes, brown bears.
There we go. That's her answer. She's sticking with it. I love it. All right, let's keep it moving. Here we go. Next color. One of my favorite colors, indeed. Red. Miss Shaw.
Red I would just say powerful. That's what I get from red. Even though I'm on red lipstick right now, I just wanted to pop. But
It is. It is.
but red, it's just a powerful color. It's blood. It's love. It's blood goes through our whole body. You associate it with love, and yeah, that's what I think of when I hear red.
Power and love. The power of love. Ooh. See there? See what I did there? All right, let's keep it going. This is a color that I just learned today. I don't think I've ever heard of this color till today, so why not? Atomic orange. Shannon.
I've never heard of this color either.
Really? That's surprising.
I guess I don't know. Lava. I have no explanation. I'm very rarely caught off guard and have nothing to say. So.
It's just like a strong orange, right?
Well,
kind of.
Initially, I thought of like some type of citrus, but then I was like, I don't know what atomic orange is, so we'll just go with lava.
Lava works. I hear that phrase all the time in my house. Daddy, the floor is lava. Then I got to run to some other side of the room or something. So those of you who are parents know that damn game. All right, let's keep it moving. I got a color. Here we go. Gold. Coach K.
Gold. I think first thing I think of when I hear gold is Egyptians with the gold bars and the gold. That's how I feel. I just feel gold bars, jewelry. Well, I have my amethyst, so this doesn't count. But yes, I think of the Egyptians with the gold. Actually, you see this right here. You see the Egyptian with the gold. The first thing I saw, I was like, oh yeah, that's right, gold. Can't see it, but it's an Egyptian bag, and he has full gold on his skin. So that's the first thing I would think about with gold.
There you have it. I love. Gold is powerful. Gold is in my name. Look at that. See? I was born. Everything that I touch turns to gold. So if I touch you, be careful. I don't know what that means. Blaze after dark. All right. Moving forward. Yeah. I don't know how I became a podcast host. I need to take more classes. All right, here we go. Moving forward. This is another one of my favorite colors, so you better represent this color. No pressure, though. Here we go. Veronica, purple.
Royalty. And to me, it's like, it just, for some reason, it represents commitment. I don't know why. It's just, that's the first thing. I love purple. And to me, it's just like a grace in the way you carry yourself. And even just looking around my room, I have pops of purple everywhere. I won't purpleize a room, but I will wear it. I will, yeah, I will wear it often. I don't have my amethyst on now, like Coach K, but I wear it in because it can be overpowering if you wear too much of it, if it's too, but it's all it needs is a little hint to show exactly like where you stand, like committed and, purposeful and purposeful. I like that, actually. I'm gonna stick with that one. Purposeful.
I learned a couple of things today. Right there. All right. So moving on. In closing, we have our final question here. So we spoke about how our kids are involved, either in our community or in sports or in our church. We spoke about incorporating some sort of meditation or a quiet time with our kids, with our families, or even possibly in the school, maybe under a different title or something. So it doesn't look like it's based on on religion or anything like that. And we also spoke about fears in this current climate. So here, I want to speak about commitment. With all that's going on, and it's not just concerning COVID and the pandemic and the unemployment rate and all that other stuff, but just for you, it was a commitment to be a guest, to be a panelist on this show, right? And in life, you've all made commitments. So here in front of millions of viewers, so you got to speak it into, right? Veronica, what is your commitment? What comes to mind?
Just to become better and better every day, just that 1% better every day, because that's all we can do is just focus on the present moment and our actions now. And if that is my contribution into the world, then at least I know that what I'm putting, because I know that I want the best for myself, I also want the best for everyone else. So I'm just committed to being as best as possible to be the reflection for the world.
Mm-hmm. The man or woman in the mirror starts with yourself. Absolutely. Purpose. Purpose is a word that I use very often, and purpose is powerful. So, Vegan Evan, what is your purpose?
Well, I believe my purpose is to change the world and to make the world a better place for everyone. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone, not just humans, but also non-human animals alike. And I want to make this a better world and help other people become more kind and compassionate and change their lifestyle choices and become vegan even.
There it is. A child walking in his purpose. It takes some of us 30 years, 40 years, 60 years to find our purpose. So, yes.
And also someday I want to run for president in 2048. I want to become a lawyer and a pilot. And then I want to because if I'm a lawyer, I'll have already gone into law school. And then I want to keep going up and up and become president in 2048.
I'll vote for you, Evan.
Me too.
You got my vote. You got my vote, buddy.
Mine too.
I'm hoping I have the longest running campaign for president because I actually started like 1 or 2 years ago.
2018, I think.
Yeah, I started like 3 years ago, my campaign. So, Vegan Evan for president 2048.
Are you going to thank them all for their votes?
Thank you all.
Awesome. Here, so, Melanie, keyword for you is bond. BOND. What does that mean to you?
The first thing I think about is, I have to say, it's my son. We have developed such an amazing bond, and it started happening, I feel like almost since he was in the womb. I remember driving to work when I was a pediatric medical assistant, and I always played Bob Marley. Love reggae, love Bob Marley. He's the man. And one of my son's favorite songs is a Bob Marley song. And I feel like he remembers. And in a way, I kind of feel like that's when our bond may have started. I've played it all throughout. You know, when he was a newborn, he had lots of gas and colic. He wouldn't sleep. That specific song always soothed him over every other song. So to me, there's different ways I have bonded with him. That happens to me to be one of my favorite ways, through music. Music is love, and that's good for the soul. So that's my favorite bond, is the one I've built with him. You don't really know love until you give it to a little piece of you. They're so innocent. So sometimes we just stare at each other and we just play music and he falls asleep in my arms. It's the best thing in the world. I take advantage of every moment before he's older and he gets embarrassed of me. So I love it. I love our bond. It's a blessing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Next word, strength. Miss Shaw.
All right, strength. When I hear the word strength, I think of, for myself, just going through life. For myself, I was always a single mom. I raised my son completely by myself, no father involvement at all, not a dollar. Coming from a different country, I was a teenage mom. I put myself through college, have my master's. I just think just pushing through, and I try to instill that with my students. And it's funny because a parent told me today that her daughter. I had her daughter years ago, and that was one of her comments. Her daughter wrote for her graduation, and she included me. I was her teacher many, many years ago, and now she graduated high school. And I guess they have a little area where they write, in the yearbook, things that really stood out in their life. And she mentioned me, and it was strength, because I'm really, I'm tough on the kids, but they know it's because I want them to be the best. And my core is having that strength to persevere and to make it and to be the best that you can be. So I think strength is the core for a lot of things. And from that, everything blossoms. So, thank you. Go ahead, I see you clapping there. Thank you, guys. I just think no matter what you go through, just going back and reflecting to that strength, and you may have your moments you get down, but just getting back up and getting to, your optimal best and making the best life. And, and it's important for me to really put that in the kids, in their minds, because it's actually sad. I remember what we were talking about in the beginning of school this year, and a student said to me, it was something like she just had no hope. And I tried to tell her, like, right now, your time now in whatever situation you're going through at home, it's just temporary. Your life is not what's going on right now is not it. This is you're with your parents, your family situation, but you have the ability to change that, and the next how many years you're, for yourself. So I think just having that strength for me and living that, and then being able to give others and having as an example. I forgot if it was Veronica said that, being an example for people, you have to be that for others to be able to even aspire to it. So that's what I think of it.
Absolutely, absolutely. Mr. Cortez, accountability.
Oof, that's good. That's a good word. Accountability. Man, we're accountable for everything that we do. Believe me. I heard something the other day that you don't leave this earth owing anything, and or owing something. You don't leave this earth owing something. You will always pay what you owe. And if you put out good, you're gonna get good when you leave. If you put out bad, you're gonna get bad. And we're accountable for so many things. I'm accountable. God has instilled in me to be a leader, right? So I'm accountable to Him for that. I have to be a good leader. I have to be a good father. I have to, lead by example, and I'm accountable to my team. I'm accountable to my ushers. I'm accountable to my church. I'm accountable to my kids. I'm accountable to my God. So that's a strong word for me. So
Yeah, absolutely. When I think of accountability, I think of teamwork. And no matter how strong you are or how detailed you are, having that accountability partner, having someone to encourage you or to nudge you in the back, like, what are you doing? Uh, is necessary sometimes. And with that said, that leads me to perseverance. Coach K.
That is a really, really good one, perseverance. Honestly, I would have to say being a mother has been, I mean, everybody should know this. Being a mom is the hardest job in the world. And we have to go through so many things and we persevere. We go through it. You know, we're tired, we're sleepy, we're stressed, and we still wake up and you know what? We gotta go. We can't I can't be sad. I have things to do. I gotta take care of my kids. I gotta go work. I gotta do this. And sometimes, you know, sometimes I have these low points where I'm like so stressed out, I just want to cry. But I'm like, you know what? No, we can't do this. I have to keep going, keep pushing. And I don't think I would have that drive. I don't think I would have that perseverance if it wasn't for my kids. My kids are like my driving factor, and they're my number one reason I persevere through all the things that I've been through in my life. And, you know, I tell my kids all the time, you know, I don't know where I would be right now if it wasn't for you guys. You guys saved me. Like, you guys are the reason you guys saved me. So definitely perseverance is being a mom and just keep going. We wake up and we keep going, ladies. We just keep going and we survive and we push through and we just do it. We're like Nike. We just do it. We have no choice. We just do it for our kids. And that's just love right there.
Straight up, straight up, straight up. Last but not least, we end with Shannon. And for you, why? What's the why?
So I have so many whys, but my two top whys are this guy right here and just these innocent sentient beings that do have a voice but are not being heard and can't speak up for themselves. And I've loved animals my whole life, and my cousin showed me a video when I was 9 that showed how they end up on our plates, and I never ate another animal again. So this Thanksgiving makes 25 years. I've been doing nothing but research since then. And embarrassingly, it took me 19 years of being a vegetarian to find out about the egg and dairy industries. And it makes me so sad. I could have done so much more work. I could have educated so many people if I had understood the truth. I wouldn't have participated in the horrendous violence of the egg and dairy industries for almost 2 extra decades, which is so disappointing. If I had just had information that everyone deserves. And so my why is these beautiful innocent animals, these beautiful mother cows who are forcibly impregnated over and over again and have their babies ripped away from them and have to endure that 4 or 5 times before they have their throats slit and are turned into, the cheapest of so-called ground beef, and all of the other innocent animals that endure so much suffering. Over 74 billion land animals and trillions of marine individuals every single year at the hand of our species. They're my why. I'm going to do everything that I can to, like Evan said, make this world a better place while we're here and end violence and oppression for every living being on the planet. Thank you so much for having us.
No problem. Really quick, does Vegan Evan want to rap for us?
Sure. All right.
It's been a while.
Which one should I do? My old one?
Yeah.
The first one?
Do both if you want. Whatever you want.
Should I merge them?
Whatever you want.
All right. Vegan Nevin is my name. Saving the animals is my game. I like to be vegan and you will too. So go vegan. It's the best thing to do. I don't eat meat and I don't eat eggs. I don't eat anything that had legs. Yeah, you heard. I don't eat decomposing flesh. Instead, I eat fruits and veggies that are fresh. I don't eat or drink anything that's scary. So I definitely don't do dairy.
Hey, my friends.
Hey, my friends, I got something to tell. I got a tip that'll help you stay well. Now is the time. I forget that one.
It's been a while. Now is the time to
Now
go.
is the time to go vegan. It'll make you feel young and healthy again. Not only will it help you, it'll help the ecosystem too. What about the poor cows, pigs, and hens? Don't you think we should treat them as our friends? They have families, friends, and feelings too. They want to live just like me and you. So go vegan. It's the best thing to do. Help you, the animal, and the environment too. Vegan Evan, out.
Woo! He wrote those when he was 5 and 6.
And then I have a new one, but it needs the instrumental because it's a parody, so it needs the instrumental of the song in the background so I can keep up with it, and I don't have that right now. But those two were from like when I was 5.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, Vegan Evan was not born vegan, and I tried to talk him out of it, but he told me no, if animals were getting hurt, and he didn't need that, he didn't want it, and so that's why today is 6 years, but he's 11. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you all. Let's give it up for my lovely panelists. Woo! What an episode, man. Episode 41. Thank you all. Thank you all. This concludes our theme for this month. Next month, we're going into a new theme, and that theme will be doctors. Ooh. So we're having all types of doctors. Yeah, it should be interesting. The focus will be health. All right. So I'm not here to sway anybody one side or not. My focus on every platform is health, giving it to you straight. All right. Health is the focus. So we're having doctors from all different walks of life, from all different experiences, just to share their expertise. So you don't want to miss that. Every week it'll be a different doctor. And then in November, we have chefs. So we're having different chefs and different restaurant owners. That'll be November. So of course I got my vegan chefs in there and some dope vegan restaurant owners. But it'll be a little bit of everything. So you don't want to miss November. All right. We're currently in season 2 of the BLAZETHELION podcast. And we wouldn't have been here if it wasn't for you all. So thank you all for listening. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting. If you haven't liked the damn episode, like it now. Like it now. I told you that in the beginning. All right, like it now. And if you haven't subscribed to the BLAZETHELION podcast, here's your chance. All right, do it now. Thank you again for my guests. Also, this episode right here, tomorrow, the audio version will be available on all streaming platforms. So you can listen on your way to work or on your way to the gym. All right, you can share with your friends. It'll be available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and all major streaming platforms. With that said, this was the BLAZETHELION podcast. Peace and love.